everyone. Whew, that was loud. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody? Thank you for joining us. Can I please get a motion and a second to reconvene the public meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence to honor Corey Fitzpatrick, a district groundskeeper for over 6 years, and our servicemen and women.
Can I just say, whoever that little girl was, who I heard louder than anyone in this audience, you know who she is, whoever it is.
Thank you. Can the district clerk please call the roll?
We have Mrs. Iannatelli,
Present.
Mrs. DiLorenzo,
Present.
Mrs. Napolitano-Ferno,
Present.
Dr. Centermore,
Present.
Mrs. Mallon,
Present.
Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Mr. Kolihifar,
I am here as well.
Mrs. Poppy,
Present.
and Mr. Hauser.
Present.
And Mr. Spencer. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the April 9, 2024 meeting? Motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the April 16, 2024 meeting?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the April 30, 2024 meeting? Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the May 14, 2024 meeting?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the May 21st, 2024 meeting? Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the May 28, 2024 meeting? Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's been a while since we had a regular meeting. It's a lot of meetings. All right, now for why we are here. It's a room full of good vibes. I love it. So we are here to recognize our spring athletes and our teams. I'm going to give the podium to Mr. Pete Mallory. You have to press the button.
Testing. We're good? All set? All right, can everybody hear me? Good evening. Thank you for having me here to do our traditional recap of the season, of the spring season in this case, but I would be remiss if I didn't just take a brief minute here to say that it was just another amazing year, not just the spring season in the world of athletics, and there's just so many people to thank, and it's just amazing that, you know, this is my 5th year, and I just feel like the buy-in from the entire support staff for our kids, for our coaches, has been better than ever, and I'm just very lucky and fortunate to be a small part of it. So I want to say it's just been an amazing year, and thanks to everyone, especially the Board of Education, the Central Administration, our high school administration, Joe Piombo and Joe Licata for our middle school programs are always there for us, Mr. Moran at the high school. Amazing year, and the kids always make it. Our student athletes are persevering. We're getting better at everything in terms of competing, but we're also getting better in terms of our scholar athlete programs, our charitable events, and that's a credit to the kids. It's a credit to our process, and it's just been awesome. Spring is always busy because it's not just athletics. We have so many events. We have the Joe Brandy relays that we host, and Joe Brandy's actually in the house tonight, legendary coach here at Connecticut. We had our Beats for Liam cardiac screening program. We did our 5K mental health run, senior athletic awards, coming together day, numerous charitable games and awareness games. So it's a lot. And of course, playoffs. So in a nutshell, in 60 seconds or less, by the numbers, our spring, we had 925 athletes participate, grades 7 through 12. That may be the most important bullet. It's 925 kids just trying to get better every day. Learning characteristics are going to help them in life. This is a big school district, big participation, and again, that's why I thank our support staff so much. So proud to have 925 kids participating in spring athletics. On the high school level, 223 scholar athletes. That means they maintained a 90 average or better. We had 6 scholar athlete teams. That means 75% of the roster had a 90 average or better. 7 out of the 10 teams we have at the high school in the spring made the playoffs. Some won playoff games, and many made deep playoff runs. Boys tennis and girls lacrosse had their best seasons in school history. We had 3 league championship teams, and we had our spring girls track team culminate at the end of the year right here on our own track at Connecticut High School and win the County 2A championship. And tonight we're here to honor the numerous county champions and state qualifiers, and we'll start by calling up to the podium Coach Shelby White, boys track, to talk about some of our state qualifiers for the boys track team.
How you doing tonight? My name is Coach Shelby White. I coach the boys varsity track team at the high school. And this season, we just wanted to honor a few of our athletes that made it all the way out to the state level. We've had a pretty good run the past couple of years, and it's due, by and large, by these athletes in particular. The 3 that I want to name tonight, this is Jaden McCabe. He's a sophomore at the high school, just finished up his sophomore season. Jaden hit 2 automatic qualifiers to get him to the state meet this year. That's a very, very tough thing to do. He was an automatic qualifier in the long jump and the 100-meter dash. He is one of only 3 Connecticut athletes to ever break 11 seconds in the 100, running 10.96 this year. And again, he is only a sophomore. And in the long jump, he jumped 22 feet 5 inches this season, hitting an automatic qualifier, and the second best long jump in Connecticut history, only to Aiden Friel, who did it last year by an extra ½ inch. So once again, somebody to look forward to for the next 2 years. The other 2 athletes I want to name weren't able to be here this evening, unfortunately. However, Timothy Campbell, you may have heard me speak about him during one of the other Board of Education meetings, especially during the winter. He was an indoor county champion outdoors. He was able to, in one of his last meets, break the school record in the discus, throwing 160 feet, and also automatically qualifying him for states, which brought him up there for that event. And then another junior of ours, Fernando Padilla. Fernando was the county champion in the pentathlon. For those that don't know, the pentathlon, you compete in 5 different events, scoring up in those 5 different events. So basically, you can kind of say that you are one of the best overall athletes in track and field. He was the county champion this year. Kind of as an underdog, he upset the #1 seed and hit the #3 mark in the entire state prior to going up to the state meet. And he's only a junior, so we're hoping to bring him back next year and have a lot of success with that. That was Fernando Padilla and Timothy Campbell, again, who weren't able to be here this weekend. Real quick before I go, after the state meet, the nationals took place. We had 1 athlete. He's an 8th grader, Jeremiah Davis, coming up to the high school from OBMS. And he was the national champion for all middle schoolers at New Balance in Pennsylvania last weekend in the long jump, and was 8th overall in the entire nation in the 200-meter dash as well. So he hasn't even set foot in the doors as a student at the high school. He's already the 3rd best long jumper we've ever had. and one of the top sprinters that we currently have. He is, much like Jaden, over the next few years, going to be somebody to keep your eye on because he is something unbelievable right now. All right, big round of applause for him as well. Let's go to the front.
Track. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to call up first our spring girls track coaching staff. This staff is amazing because we have volunteers on this staff that really were the backbone of this program a long time ago. And they've stayed, and thank God they've stayed and hung around. They've mentored all our coaches, like Coach White, who just spoke, and Coach Austin, our head coach, who's coming up with the certificates. So this is a great group. Cross country, winter, spring. As we say, track never rests. Tremendous amount of time. We appreciate it. We have Coach Austin, our head coach. We have Deanna Farrell, our assistant. Dwight Edwards, who very much responsible for Tim Campbell's success in the discus and the shot. The legendary Jim Crowley, the best of the best. The legendary Bill Waring, and Joe Brandy. How about a wave for Joe? Where is? There he is. All right, and let's call up the girls' county championship team. Come on up, ladies.
Thank you. Okay. Hello? Is this working? Okay. Can we hear me on this or no? What if I just talk loudly? Did everybody hear me? All right, I'll just talk loudly. All right. Girls spring track team had a historic year, as we've already heard. Coach to come up here, you know. I know it's easy to get about like destiny and all that stuff when you're coming off a great season, but I'll let you guys judge for yourself. We had all right, so county champion, coach, coming in, was ranked. County, shocking. As a matter of fact, to the point where I'm friends with some of the other coaches, and I'm running chicken like without a head, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And at one point, one of them finally said, have you looked at your phone? And when I looked at the phone, we were winning 120 to 50. Now, to give you an idea of how historically good this team was, the final score, they scored 160 points. The second best team, North Babylon, last year's defending champs, scored 85.6 points. They almost doubled their score. Killed it. Now, to stick with that same idea of explaining to you how historically good this team was, we had an undefeated regular season. The average score for this girls' team was 104 points. The average team score for the other team was 66. We had 15 all-league athletes. There are only 18 events. We had 9 all-county athletes. We had 5 county champions, individual county champions in their event. We had Julie Watson, Ava Catania, Lara Booth, Alam, Chloe Young, and essence right in two events, both shot and disc. So, we had Chloe Young, who qualified for states in both the long jump and the hurdles. You heard Coach White talking about the super standard. Just to reiterate what super standard is over the last 5 years, they average up the 4th place finish in the entire state, and that's what the super standard was. And that's how Chloe qualified for the long jump as well as winning. So she qualified with the super standard as well as winning. So when we say that she jumped 18.5, second best ever, this is historically long. She is a half inch off of the school record. Full inch. Sorry, full inch off the school record. Sorry. We had 9 girls qualify for the national meet. We had in the 4x mile, we had Olivia DiGatano, Martina Maletti, Anna Maletti, and Marissa McDougall in the 4x mile. We had a hurdle team because we have 12 amazing hurdlers on our team. We're always very lucky. We have Bill Waring over there, who's like our hurdler, who we have to thank for that. Christina Palazzo, Leilani Delaune, Kaylin Mallon, and Chloe Young, they all qualified for 4x 100-meter hurdles. And then, sorry. And then, last but not least, Ava Catania qualified in the race walk. So we had 9 girls qualified for nationals. We had all this amazing stuff happen this year. I cannot tell you how proud I am of this group of girls, how proud all of the coaches are of these girls. It's going to be hard to outdo that performance. They were an exceptional team. So congratulations, girls.
While they're getting set for the picture, I'll just tell you that these are better. You heard about them as track athletes. They're even better people, better kids. Just an unbelievable group. Thank you again for your support. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the teams. Valiant effort. Great job by everybody. At our last meeting, there was a slight miscommunication to some of our students that were being recognized for the Skills Unlimited. So we did reach out to them again, and we are here to recognize them. So Ms. Poppy.
We're going to try it again. In April, several Connecticut High School students participated in regional Skills USA competitions in a variety of vocational skills categories, earning scores that qualified them to compete at the state level in Syracuse. Skills USA students hone hands-on skills against current industry standards in more than 130 occupational areas, from 3D animation to welding and many areas in between. At the same time, they develop transformative career readiness skills, including teamwork, communication, professionalism, leadership, and more to fuel their success. Congratulations to the following students who qualified in the following Skills USA competition events. We have Ava Craig for Action Skills Teaching Competition. Hannah L. Romley for Crime Scene Investigation. Alexa Hernandez for Senior Cosmetology. Molly Murphy for Marine Technology. and Emma Tom for Health Knowledge Bowl. Congratulations.
Do you want to come down to the stage and take a picture? Congratulations again. I'm now going to pass the floor to Mr. Kohler, who will do our tenure presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Mallon. I'm going to do that from right here, if that's all right, because the first thing I'd like to do is, tonight is a very special night. Tonight is the culmination or the end of the probationary period for many of our certified staff, and we would like to honor and present them to the Board of Education for approval of tenure. We do have a little video montage that I'd like to show the board and the audience for all of our tenure candidates, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank both Ms. Kristen Fantry and Ms. Victoria Pappas for putting this together. So thank you very much. I do want to let you know that the music montage is set to a Justin Timberlake song, which is a little bit inappropriate given the news of the weekend. However, they did do this video quite before, the events of Sag Harbor. So without further ado, Ms. Kemp, if you could please show that video.
Just connect what style, like that's how we do it.
So,
Can I
Madam-
please?
Oh, sorry, Madam President. I'd just like to invite everybody down. I will call you by name, and I'd ask that we line up, and then, yes, we can do it after the vote. Yes, sorry.
We're just going to vote to make sure. We're just going to make this official. Can I please call for a motion and a second to approve the conferring of tenure in accordance with application provisions of education law to the individuals as presented?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, come on down, congratulations.
Again, those tenure candidates are, and as you hear your name, please come down, and either Ms. Fantry or Ms. Pappas have a certificate for you, and we'll take a picture. There are refreshments for everyone after we complete the retiree ceremony in the cafeteria, so I invite you and your families back to that. So we'll start with the high school. Again, Stephanie Andrews, Pat Favor, Megan Lamano, Lou Melfi, and Dennis Schindler, and the principal of that building, Mr. Michael Moran. At OBMS, we have Stacy Fulbert. At RMS, we have Emily Murray. At Boston Elementary School, we have Laura Alonso, Nicole Fail, Shannon Fazzino, and Brooke Kraska, and Jamie Wallace. At Cherokee, we have Scott Briner, Nicolette Celeberti, Melissa Comas, Evan DeSanto, Adam LeWinter, Jacqueline Marquez, and Nicole Parisi. At Duffield, we have Jessica Monteserato. At John Pearl, we have Patricia Ferenz. At Slocum, we have Emily Bush, Jacqueline Mancini, Jennifer Wynn. At Sycamore, we have Jacqueline Caranudo, Carolyn Ferrella, Marissa Marinaccio, Nicolette Serra, and Melissa Stopsky. Congratulations.
Can we get another round of applause to them? Congratulations to all of you. I'm now going to pass the floor again to Mr. Kohler-Hefar. We have a few in our audience that are retiring and sadly leaving us, but we want to recognize them as well for their hard work and commitment.
So, Madam President, thank you again. I would like to just acknowledge 3 people who I did fail to mention as far as tenure and announcing them to come up because I want to sufficiently embarrass them now rather than before. And that's Mr. Hauser to my right. Ms. Poppy, also to my right, did receive tenure last year. We're very proud of her. And of course, Ms. O'Hara in the back somewhere. Congratulations to the 3 of you. So now I'd like to move on from tenure to a place I'd like to be at some point in my life, which is retirement, you know? And retirees, they spent a collective total of about 427 years of educational experience. That is an exaggeration, but it sounds nice. They have very many years here in Connecticut. And it's not just our teacher retirees, but it is also our non-instructional retirees. And as before, Ms. Fantry and Ms. Pappas put together a little slideshow, and I'd ask Ms. Kemp to present that now. So again, thank you very much to all of our retirees. As I call your name, please come down and receive your certificate, and we'll get a picture on the stage. Our teaching, our instructional retirees, Ms. Lori Allen Bauer, Kathy Parisi, Heidi Edmonds, Karen Edwards, Robert Fischetti, Julie Hafner, Mary Ellen Harkin, Mary McGonnell, Kathy Mangiello, Deidre Nunez, Stu Pollock, Patricia Quigley, and Judy Velarde. Our non-instructional retirees, Evelyn Bauman, Lynn Bermudez, Barbara Baccia, Laura Cameron, Renee Fitzpatrick, Kathleen Giametta, Joanne Laffey, Michael Lewis, Angela Malvagno, Cynthia Marinelli, Harold Mitchell, Linda Moreno, Maureen Morvillo, Jerry Orlando, Sandy Owen, Luann Pasadino, Susan Pollack, Rose Quarenta, Janet Struble, Judith Velarde, Rosario Vera, Karen Webb, and Kathy Weber. Congratulations.
How about another round of applause for our retirees? So congratulations to all our staff who are on it this evening. You continue to make us proud. Thank you for all that you have done for our students and community. Outside of the home, I truly believe that a teacher and all of those support staff who work in our schools are the ultimate difference makers. To our retirees, there is truly no replacement for your collective experience and wisdom. To those earning tenure tonight, congratulations on this first step on a much
larger journey. And of course, congratulations to our students recognized for their wonderful academic and athletic achievements. Connect Quad, thanks to these collective efforts, continues to be a AAA district with our excellence in academics, athletics, and the arts. Thank you all and congratulations.
So, Madam President, I would like to acknowledge and thank one more person in the audience, Ms. Christina Incerillo, the Executive Assistant for Dr. Senamore. She put together a wonderful refreshments in the cafeteria, and Mr. Liccato, thank you for allowing us to, host us today. And so at this point, Ms. Mallon, I don't know if you want to
Yep,
dismiss it.
thank you. So can I call for a motion and a second to recess the meeting and enjoy refreshments to honor our tenure recipients and honorees?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, let's go celebrate you guys. Can I get a motion and a second to move the personnel matters to before the audit committee? No. Yeah. I just need a motion and a second to move the personnel matters to before the audit
Motion.
committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I call for a motion and a second to approve the instructional and non-instructional personnel items as presented?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So we just appointed our new principal of Duffield. I'm going to let Dr. Centimore introduce.
So it is with great pleasure that I introduce our new principal of Duffield Elementary School, starting effective with the new school year, Ms. Callan Lonergan, if you could please stand.
Congratulations, Ms. Lonergan, and good luck.
Welcome to the Thunderbird family.
I'm just going to finish the personnel matters. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby rescinds its May 28, 2024 resolution to abolish the assistant principal position for the employee named in confidential Schedule A within the administrative tenure area of assistant principal effective June 30th, 2024. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the, I do, right? I do.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, I'll do an all in favor.
For the one for the AP?
Right. I'm actually going to do a roll call. Mr. Murphy?
Motion?
No?
Yes.
Yes or no to rescind?
Didn't sound like
Okay.
Not to rescind, to
To restore. Mr. Murphy?
yes.
I am a yes. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno?
I'm a yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Iannatelli?
Yes.
Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Call for a motion and a second for the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education to rescind its May 28, 2024 resolution to abolish the 1.0 teaching position in the business tenure area for the employee named in confidential Schedule A effective June 30th, 2024.
I'm a yes.
Now I need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno?
I'm a yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
And Ms. Iannatelli?
Yes.
Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Can I call for a motion and a second for the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby rescinds its May 28, 2024 resolution to abolish the 1.0 teaching position in the social studies tenure area for the employee named on confidential Schedule A effective June 30th, 2024. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Murphy?
I'm a yes.
I'm a yes. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Iannatelli? Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. All right. Can I please call for a motion and a second to suspend the business meeting and convene the audit committee meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The most exciting part of board meetings.
Internal audit report presented by Ms. Battaglia of RS Abrams. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Oh, you did great. Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to go over the internal audit reports. The first one that we did was the payroll department. So this was from the risk assessment last year. We all decided to do the payroll in-depth cycle report. So I'm happy to report there wasn't that many findings. There was nothing material in here. How we conduct our audit is basically we look at the payroll department, we interview the staff there, we make sure we document all your policies and procedures in this report, and then we test the system of internal controls to make sure that it is functioning properly. So the observations and recommendations that we have, the first one was just a vendor match is not performed, just to make sure that you don't have any conflicts between employees and vendors. We did meet with Bob and his team just to go through and explain how to do that internally with the AIS system. So it's an easy match, and you could see that basically there are no conflicts of interest. The new hire testing, we didn't have any issues there, so everything had their board approvals and everything was in their personnel files. We also reviewed the payroll accounting just to make sure that the payroll registers were accurate and everybody was being paid accordingly, and there was no issues there. We also looked at your substitute teachers, and there was no issues there. Everything had employee contracts, and everything was, their attendance, everything was in order. We looked at your overtime, and we just noted that there was 5 out of 10 employees that didn't have evidence of pre-approval, so we just want to make sure that there's pre-approval on the form signed off before that individual is paid. The stipends, we looked to make sure of any employees that receive stipends, that it was board approved and they're being paid accordingly, and we had no exceptions there. We looked at the separation payments, so anybody who leaves the district who's entitled to their days or a check, and everything was in order. And finally, we looked at your 941 reconciliation. So we noted that the district does do it on an annual basis, but we're recommending to do it on a quarterly basis since you have to file your 941s on a quarterly basis. We do know that the 941s are signed by Bob, so we know that there is a review and approval, but just to basically reconcile to your AIS accounting information system. And if there's any questions on the payroll report. I'll move on to the risk assessment. So this is our annual risk assessment update. We just do a high-level overview of some of these business processes and the sub-processes. Basically, how we do is we rate our control risk as either high, moderate, or low. High meaning that the internal control system's not functioning, so I'm very happy to report that the district does not have any high control risk areas. Moderate just means that you do have the internal control of the systems working, but we do have some further recommendations to improve the district's internal controls. And then the low risk is there were no issues reported. So the first observation that we had was under governance and planning. We just wanted to make sure that district had all the board policies that's legally required. There are some recommendations that's recommended by the Office of the State Comptroller. So our job as internal auditors just to provide to you any recommendations that the OSC is recommending so the district can take that under advisement if they want to implement that. And the first one was just the internal audit reports and the corrective action plan, putting it on the district website, and also the multi-year financial plan to post those on the district website. We looked at the accounting and reporting, so we did note that the district does discuss with the board in detail the reserves and discusses the funding level, but there's also a document that you could formally document it, and it just outlines what your funding levels are, what each of the reserves you have, which I did share with Bob to tailor to Connecticut School District. We looked at your revenue and cash management, so we interviewed employees there, we tested your cash receipt system, and we had no recommendations in that area. We then looked at your benefits processes, looked at the district policies. Also, we looked at your medical benefit elections, and we just noticed that they are processed and approved by the same individual, even though we didn't find any discrepancies, but it's always good to have a segregation of duties and just have somebody review and approve those separate from the individual that is entering them into the system. And then information technology, we did note that there was some business office staff that did have access, not that they're actually performing those functions, but they did have access, so you just need to turn off those functions in the accounting information system. The status of prior recommendations was in the food service operations. That was from our cycle report from last year. One of them is implemented, and one of them, the implementation's in the process, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But otherwise, there was no other issues from last year. For this year, we are proposing to do our in-depth cycle in the facilities maintenance area, unless the audit committee has an area that they specifically would like us to address, and we can change that out. You don't have to decide tonight, but just if you do have an area of concern, just please let me know.
Thank you, Ally.
Okay. All right. And I just want to thank Bob and his team. They're very proactive. Anytime we have any findings, they actually been very helpful during the internal audit. And then any findings, we do have a meeting with my team and his team, and he also wants to know how to implement these recommendations as well. So thank you for taking us under advisement.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Battaglia? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the 2023-2024 internal auditors reports as presented?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Can I please have a motion and a second to adjourn the audit committee meeting and reconvene the business meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We now have our student government update. Is her mic on?
There was no new news about student government, and I was not notified, but we're all excited for Regents to be over and our summer to start. So thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you for all you did all year and keeping us informed with everything going on at the high school. Thank you. Superintendent's update, Dr. Centimore.
Thank you, Ms. Mallon, and good evening, everyone. And once again, congratulations to all of our students and staff who were honored here tonight. What a great night. Thank you, Mr. Kolihifa, for all your efforts and your team. Great teamwork, as always. Certainly on a somber note, we noted it during the moment of silence. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Corey Fitzpatrick's family, friends, and colleagues. His loss is felt throughout our district, and he is remembered fondly. On a positive note, I do hope that everyone had a nice Juneteenth holiday yesterday and were able to reflect upon its significance. I also hope our observing families had a blessed Eid al-Adha and that everyone enjoyed a wonderful Father's Day as well. In June, we also recognized Pride Month with several activities at the high school, including Tie-Dye Day. There was also the recognition of D-Day in our social studies classes, as well as numerous Flag Day celebrations. On the staffing front, as you heard with the personnel action, with the additional retirement notice we received and an interest saving on a recent bond funding bid, very happy that we were able to restore the high school AP position and make whole 2 teaching positions based upon seniority. That action was taken just before, and we are very, very excited and happy about that. Our curriculum committee recently met to finalize a recommendation of adjusting the district's passing grade from 70 to 65. If there are no concerns expressed from the board, this will take full effect for next school year. In order to ensure a smooth transition, all final course grades for the current school year will also be based upon a 65 passing score. While the bar, of course, remains high, very high, with the continued goal of student mastery and application, this provides alignment to state passing standards and helps to avoid placing our students with learning challenges and their families at both an academic as well as financial disadvantage. We're very excited about that as well. The Food Service and Nutrition Committee recently had 2 meetings as we look to ensure a smooth transition in the next school year for our breakfast and lunch programs. The most recent meeting focused on the September menu. Thank you to Mr. Hauser, our board, staff, and community members who participated, and an extra special thank you to our food service workers, custodians, administrators, teachers, and support staff for working so incredibly hard and collaboratively to help make the breakfast and expanded lunch program a reality. The district has so many active committees, including various academic, the anti-drug and alcohol, mental health, safety, to just name a few. I want to thank all of our stakeholders for their great work on all committees throughout the school year. This participation and collaboration is greatly appreciated. We recently had a really cool high school film festival, as well as a science symposium where the creativity and brilliance of our students were on full display. June was also filled with academic and athletic award recognitions. Congratulations once again to all of our students on these amazing accomplishments. We had outstanding June jazz concerts, and our high school choir held a joint concert with our alumni at a beautiful Wisconsin venue. I continue to marvel at how our alumni stay so well connected to our schools. Once a Thunderbird, always a Thunderbird. Idle Hour students had 2 enjoyable performances to jam-packed crowds, one called Hats and another called Joust. Really a good time. The high school held a BOCES program recognition, and our participating seniors have had their respective graduation ceremonies at the various BOCES learning centers. I've had the pleasure of attending several. Congratulations. Our 5th and 8th grade moving up ceremonies are in full swing, and with each school providing their own special touch, they've been really cool, with a few more to come. Very exciting. We have our military enlistment recognition tomorrow. I believe the number is 11 students, and of course, we thank them for their commitment to serving our nation and to keeping us free and safe. This month also includes 8th grade formals, junior and senior proms, and our students make us proud, looking sharp and having fun. Our senior elementary walkthroughs took place this week. It was a nice trip down memory lane for our students and the staff in those buildings. I want to thank our staff and community volunteers who have helped to make all of these activities and events so amazing. Next week, high school graduation is upon us. We are very excited. We are looking forward to a beautiful ceremony that will take full advantage of our new and expanded bleachers. And as usual, all safety and security measures are in place to ensure a smooth, safe, secure, enjoyable, and memorable experience for all of our graduates, families, staff, and community. Special thanks in advance to the entire high school administrative team, all the support staff, and transportation staff, as there will also be a shuttle bus service from Sycamore for those families wishing to utilize it. At graduation, we'll be honoring over 450 seniors, with well over 100 receiving seals of biliteracy and over 270 receiving seals of civic readiness. We also have students receiving CTE technical endorsements. The vast majority of our graduates are going on to 2- and 4-year colleges, with numerous others going into the military, onto trade schools, and into the workforce. Congratulations to our valedictorian, Cheyenne Ahmed, and our salutatorian, Nicholas Morado, and to all of our amazing graduates on their culminating work. And of course, a thank you to our Board of Education for their ongoing support for our students, staff, and programs. And as always, we also thank our various community organization partners and our PTA, SEPTA, Auber, Athletic Boosters, Rotary, and Civics for all that they do for our students and community. It's been an outstanding school year, and we're really excited for the closing week. Thank you.
Thank you. Board of Education topics. Grant writer, Ms. Ina Telly.
So as you know, I brought this up in the beginning of the year, and, the district was nice enough to post the job, but we didn't get any bites. So it's been brought up again and recently spoken about within the community. And Melissa Taragrosa, who is, now an elected board member, suggested that maybe we could go through the colleges and contact Stony Brook and others, because they all take grant writing classes in certain, it's an elective that is mandatory in certain, God, I can't think of the word. But either way, they take these classes, and many of these students probably would want to do this. They're not the type that are going to go, though, on, the sites where we post these jobs. So if we reach out to local colleges, we probably will be able to get a grant writer who's willing to work on the commission based as we have it. So I was hoping that we could take that avenue and try to do something with the colleges locally to hopefully employ a grant writer for the district.
Yeah, absolutely. We're open to all ideas and creativity, so we'll discuss tomorrow, and we'll see if we can reach out to some of our local colleges. Appreciate the idea.
Thank you, April. You also have driver's ed?
So in a recent transportation meeting, it came up that we, as Bob, I think Hauser has spoken about it before, that we get certain funds from the stop sign program for the buses. So I asked if we could use these funds, some of them, towards lowering the price of driver's ed for our students. So a portion would go and, divvy up between all the students, and they could pay a lower cost to participate in driver's ed program. I'm now going to let Bob speak on that, so he can, give us an update.
Sure. So as part of the Suffolk County grant program for the school bus stop-arm camera, we have received 2 payments so far, and we're scheduled to receive a third. In response to April's question, we did speak with counsel, who advised that we would be able to use some of the funds, not all of the funds, not all the grant funds, towards the driver ed program. So based on that information, we are working with the director of our driver ed program to take a look at all the costs that are involved. It's not just the driving component, but there's a lecturing component as well, to see how we can work together to offset the cost for the actual student portion of the payment.
Thank you. Obviously, the more that you find out, if you could update us, maybe in the next meeting on July 2nd, that'd be perfect.
Yep, we will.
Thank you. We have D-Day, Mr. Napolitano-Furno.
Okay, I have a couple of different ones, so I'm just going to let you put down Jane. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm going to say great job across district, acknowledging and encouraging curriculum-based teachings of D-Day and also Flag Day, as well as Slocum did a beautiful job as always. I'm sorry I missed it this year due to work, but Flag Day at Slocum, where they brought in first responders, military in uniform, and they celebrated. I know other schools did some other things as well. Thank you for that. When I first got on the board, we didn't see that as much, and we see it more now, and I really appreciate it. I think it's very nice to see the schools doing more and more for all of these different patriotic holidays, as well as learning more about it because it is history. I also went to the choir. It was absolutely amazing. It gave us chills. It was just incredible. Seeing the alumni also, not just at the choir, which was beautiful, but also seeing them come back for the Hall of Fame that they did for the music. That was beautiful. It was so nice to see them all get on stage for the choir and have them get up there and sing. And then actually today, we saw something really different. Like every elementary school does different graduations. We went to Idle Hour today, me and Jackie. It was absolutely, and a lot of the admin on stage. They did a magnificent job, beautiful. Legislator was there, Anthony Piccarella, so thank you for being there, to give out awards. We had it was incredible what they do. They have the kids really celebrate, and the parents get to see this, all the certificates and all the awards, very nicely done. Also at Duffield, what they did was incredible. They called the parents up. The kids sang to the parents. I wish this would have been live streamed. The kids sang to the parents, which was beautiful. And then something I have never seen anywhere in Connecticut, they called the parents up, gave them a pamphlet, right, with the words.
It was the parents of the students, they
That
have
were
no more
graduating.
children, but no more children that are going to be in Duffield anymore. They were done. This was their last child, so it was very special.
And they sang a song to their children. Another moment that
The
brings
parents
tears.
were moving out also. That's
Yeah, they called for any parents, and it was very cute seeing the parents' reaction as they were like, I wish I would have kept my hand down. No, you did an incredible job. Incredible. It was beautiful. I wanted to also say the BOCES recognition was amazing at the high school. We also got to, myself, April, and Marisol got to go to also see the Orba celebration. That looked like a blast for all the kids and staff. Great job. I wanted to thank all the staff for their tremendous job helping all the students, whether it be teaching, helping them move up, whether serving them, transporting them, or keeping them safe or security. Congrats to all the students who graduated today, during this week, last week, and the upcoming week. Tomorrow will be OBMS. Tomorrow will be the military, which you had spoken about, and Monday will be RMS. I know there are other ones, Slocum and a couple of others, Cherokee. There's a couple of other elementary schools. We're trying to get to as many as we can. Congrats to all the students in elementary moving up, whether it be kindergarten moving up or fifth grade. Good luck in your next school. The other thing that I had said I wanted additional focus on this summer was professional development. I wanted to see professional development in-house so we save money, because we definitely have some exceptional directors who could do this, and, you know, administrators, whether it be Mrs. Poppy or someone, focused on working with special needs kids and de-escalation skills training. I would like to see this for K to 12, since we are seeing an uptick in students who have mental health issues, but we also are seeing the special needs students that we really need to understand a little bit better. I think everybody, not just all staff. It might be something for you during the superintendents, but I do think it needs to be incorporated, and it needs to be looked into, and it needs to be something that's done every single year. It's something that we need to see more focus on. De-escalation skills, I take it every year at my job. It's something that could absolutely benefit people in helping them in the middle of some sort of traumatic or hostile issue. Either way, I wanted to just wish everybody congratulations to everyone. We'll see you at graduation on the 26th. Excited to see all the kids walking across the stage. Congrats to the parents as well for all you've done over the years, as well as all the educators.
Does anybody? Yes?
Yeah, I had a few things I wanted to discuss. I want to also bring up the senior, I don't know if we mentioned it up here, the senior awards night at the beginning of the month, which was, yeah, it was fantastic. The recognitions were amazing. Congratulations to all of them. It was really, really incredible to see the achievements of these kids. It's amazing, and we really do a great job with them. They become so successful, and it's really wonderful to see. So I was very, very happy, very proud to be sitting there to enjoy that evening. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the senior barbecue for the yearbook. I went to that to provide lunch to the seniors, and again, it was just a fun event, and I have to give a shout out to the advisors, Ms. Goodwin, Ms. Stemp, for the job that they do for that event, the DJ, the kids had a blast. They were all, and one thing I just noticed was amazing, no phones out. They were sitting on the floor, sitting in the bleachers, signing each other's yearbooks. It was just a wonderful thing to see. All these kids were like, you know, twice my size, that are so grown up now, and it was just a fantastic event. So I want to thank them for doing, you know, another wonderful thing for our students. They do a lot for them. That was really great. And of course, the moving up ceremonies, as we spoke about, a great job. I've seen a few of them, and they really do a fantastic job at these schools, recognizing these young students, our fifth graders, that are now moving up into, you know, the next stage of their education. It was really wonderful. They all have their own unique thing, as Jackie said, and great job, and congratulations to all of them. I look forward to next week as well, and tomorrow, OBMS, congrats to all of them. And the other last thing that I just want to bring up, I think it's an important thing for parents to understand, that regardless of what you may hear about the importance of your voice, I know things were said recently by somebody even up here that their voices do not matter, and that's not true. Parents, your voices absolutely do matter, and we here as a board are here to represent your voices. So please, definitely don't ever feel that you cannot speak up, you cannot be involved, and your voice does absolutely matter. And I think it's important for our parents to remember that. Thank you.
So I have one other thing. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it when we got to it, but I'm going to talk about it now, Madison. All right, for those who don't know about the Title IX, and now we have something, a memorandum coming. Mixed competition and extra class athletics regulation. So this is something that you only have until, I believe, July 22nd for your voices as parents to be heard.
I think it's the 21st.
Is it the 21st? Okay, so July 21st by the state? Okay. I had put this, I sent an email on June 7th, I believe it was. Let me see here. I think it was June 7th, asking that we please add this. I wanted to, this change, in case people don't know, it's the mixed competition, would enable any male student to join certain female teams without the school having discretion to refuse. Currently, New York State rules protect female athletes with a clause. Without this clause, male students could join female teams, potentially dominating the sport and taking positions, playing time and scholarships away from female athletes. I am a hard no on this and would like to advocate as a Board of Ed to prevent this from occurring. We have to do that now, though, before July 21st. Massapequa and other school districts have sent a firm letter to the state of New York. I understand that sometimes these letters, they don't do as much as we hope they do, but I want our voices heard. I'm asking for board support in this. I can use flag football as a, if there is a sport that we do not have boys and girls separate, like flag football is for girls, we could potentially see boys playing flag football against girls next year by this regulation and would be a law, which could potentially hurt females. So I just want to put that out there. You could also see females playing football. You could see males playing softball. There's a lot of different things that could happen with this. Regardless, we should be keeping our boys and girls sports separate. We should be making sure that, like I said, I've said before and I'll say again, we said we want girls to shatter glass ceilings. We say we want to be for women's rights, but then we put a cement ceiling over their head. I'm not going to do it. So I want to see boys playing boys sports, girls playing girls sports. I want them all to equally and fairly be able to get their scholarships, and I don't want to see anyone getting injured unnecessarily. So I would like to see if we can add this for a letter. Do I have to ask for a motion, or do I have to have?
I would support the letter to advocate for safety in sports.
Yeah. So we need a motion to approve a letter.
Well, we need a letter first.
Oh, we have, okay. So then, Jesse, that would be something we would need.
We just need 3 people to agree to
I
have the
absolutely
letter.
support sending a
Right.
letter. Absolutely.
All right,
You
so we
me.
have us.
I mean, I said yes.
I'm a yes.
I'll put something together for the board's consideration for the July 2nd meeting.
Thank you.
Can you take a look at Massapequa's and any other school districts and
I
kind of?
think it might have been
look at the
Island
outline?
Trees, I want to
I
say.
think
It
Island
might have been
Trees
the
was
other
one of them
one.
too. There's a
Those
few.
two.
There's a
I
few.
will.
Does anybody else have any board discussions? All right.
I do.
You do? Brian Murphy.
I would like to say thank you.
He might cry.
I may cry. It's been a tough 3 years. But some people think I'm an empty suit up here and I'm a rubber stamper. I'm not. There are things that we do in executive that nobody out there knows. And I'm proud of what I've done, and I'd like to thank Dr. C. First off, I hired you. So
I'm supposed to thank you.
Nope. No, but that's one of the great things I did, being on the board. Being a board member is hard. You know, Jackie, Jax, April, Marisol, the time we put in is absurd. And we don't get paid. And we just show up and do it. And just get beat on by anonymous keyboard warriors. And it's a joke. So if anyone out there wants to do it, do it. I'd like to thank Dr. Centimore, Mr. Reza, Miss Poppy, Mr. Hauser. I hired you too. How about that? Jesse, the backbone of this board. Our attorneys, Doug, Nicole, Greg, Lisa. Like, you are our guidance. Thank you. That guy back there, I won't say your name, but you know who you are, and your team. Yep. I also have to thank Ed for coming out. You've been here at every single meeting that I've been to. And my kids for putting up with this. That's it.
Brian, thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you, Brian.
You have been appreciated. I appreciate you. My first term was with you, and no, you cannot slash my gavel. But I was proud to sit alongside you, so thank you for your service.
I almost cried.
Almost. Can I call for a motion and a second to approve the financial matters, items 2 through 6?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, carries. Okay. I will now, yes. I will now open the floor for the first public comment portion of the agenda. This public comment portion is for the consent agenda items only. An additional public comment period will be held later. Does anyone have any consent agenda items? Okay, so I will not read everything. Can I call for a motion and a second to approve items 2 through 32? 34, we added 2 more in executive.
On the food.
Okay, and I want to pull A1, M31, if it's still that number, for the facilities use. I'll vote on it, but I want to say something when I do.
And I'd like to pull 17, learn well.
Hold on. April, you wanted to pull the food, right? That's number 24. And Jackie D, you wanted to pull
I'm going to say it was
17? Is that the
17.
learn well?
Yes.
17, learn well. And Jackie Napolitano, you wanted to pull, I think it's 31, right? The facilities use.
Yeah,
Okay,
just want to say something when I vote.
sure. I just want to write these down, hold on. I'm sorry? Sure. Okay, so can I get a motion and a second to approve items 2 through 23? Nope, 2 through 16, right. 18 through 23, 25 through 30, 32, and 34.
Motion.
I said 32 to 34. Sorry.
Second.
Does anybody have any questions on 2 through 16, 18 through 23, 25 through 30, and 32 through 34? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Can I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 17, Learn Well Consultant Services Contract?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'd like to know, because last meeting, I wanted to have this polled because I saw some things that I was not too crazy about with this company, this organization. They have a huge commitment to DEI. Their social media has all BLM on it, and I wanted to know exactly what what we use them for, since it seems their primary location is in Massachusetts, and I believe we were going to look into that, so do we have any information on that now?
Ms. Poppy, would you like to?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, just a little more information on this company and how we use them. LearnWell is an agency utilized by hospitals to educate our students. I think we spoke to that during the last meeting. We also carry contracts with other tutoring organizations to offer these types of services to our hospitalized students. However, we did follow up with the company itself. We inquired about their educational services that are provided to our hospitalized students, and we learned that the company, LearnWell, uses New York State certified teachers who follow New York State standards and work with our classroom teachers to align tutoring services to our specific coursework. We do have an accountability system in terms of logging their hours within our high school, and they assured us that they do not integrate some of the thought patterns that you were describing that are present on their social media or their website into their educational tutoring services for the district.
It says the compensation is $73.50 an hour. Do you know what has the district, what we're looking at spending on this? Are we, what do we have set aside for this at the moment, and what is the projection? If you don't know, you can tell me at the next meeting, but I'm a no for this.
We do have a specific home tutoring budget. Unfortunately, in situations like this, we don't always have a choice in terms of how we provide education to our students who are inpatient in hospitals. That's my understanding.
But I was told that other districts use other agencies and other consultant firms, correct?
As do we, yes. So for
Okay.
instance.
So it's not, I mean, we could, what I'm saying is, if we didn't use this company, there are other companies we could look into.
We do, and we have contracts with two of them. So we have contracts with St. James Tutoring at Mather and Innovative Tutoring at Good Samaritan, South Oaks, and Stony Brook. Both of those companies utilize, we contract with them through BOCES.
I firmly support the tutoring, but I don't support some of these companies, especially with some of their compensation, how much they charge, what they charge for, what their reasoning is, and I do not like some of the politics behind some of these companies. So we talk about keeping politics out of schools, and this company seems to have politics on its forefront. So I don't feel comfortable with it. I also don't feel comfortable spending the money on this company. If we were going to spend the money, I have no issue spending the money for tutoring. As you know, I've advocated for additional tutoring for all students, but this is not a contract that I personally would say yes to, or that I think would be beneficial to the entire district in regards to, like I said, some of the issues that we're seeing that could potentially be pushed in, regardless.
I'll follow up with our Student Services Department, which facilitates these contracts for our students who are hospitalized, and see if other options exist for us specific to the types of service that are provided by LearnWell. And I'll follow up during our next board meeting.
I am okay with taking a vote, though. a
Oh,
separate
we
vote.
are going to take a
Okay.
vote. I'm going to take a roll call vote right now. Mr. Murphy?
Oh, yes.
I am also a yes. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno?
I'm a no.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
No.
Ms. Iannatelli?
I'm a yes.
Motion passes. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 24, first extension of bid number 24-063023 for food services for the school year 2024-2025?
So I
just need a motion and a
Oh,
second first.
Motion.
I need a second from somebody.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, I pulled this because I just wanted to give a little bit of background. So this is our, the Airmark, who takes care of our lunch and breakfast program. As Dr. Sedamore had announced, we did have 2 meetings recently, and I would like to say that after the first meeting, where it was collaborative between Airmark, the community, and staff members, they actually did listen to what was said in the meeting And when we came to the second meeting to go over the menu, changes were already on the menu, which I was very happy to see, because that means they heard, they listened, and they were willing to work with us. There are also some other programs that I want to have in writing that they had offered the chef days and special things. So although I'm going to approve the RFP, I just would like to state that I do want to see in writing that we're going to get the special events and the things that were promised. So I know Mr. Hauser can speak better on that, so I'm going to let him take.
Before you do, I just want him to also answer you on something else. Mr. Hauser, you were with me till the end of the meeting, so you're aware, what I'm going to tell April about how she said that you were misunderstood, that General Chow's chicken was already on. That wasn't something that they added, that was actually on the menu for the high school, as I actually went to the high school last month to check food with Dr. Centimore, and we both had that.
That's
the General
because
Chow's
the
chicken.
head chef, Nicole, puts it on even though they told her no.
Okay.
She announced it in the meeting.
Well, me and
prior.
Bob was sitting there, and that's what she said. She said that you misunderstood. She didn't change the menu. The menu was the same, at least for September. But what she did say is, after you left, I was advocating for the chef once a month, and the staff said it's a little bit difficult being so on demand. So what they were talking about is maybe doing it once every 3 months, having like a pasta bar, doing something with a chef again. They did promise us that. Me and Mr. Hauser were there. We told them we were going to hold them accountable, and that we hope to see it in September to start.
Go ahead, Bob, if you could, I know that I had asked earlier, so you could speak in public about this.
Okay, so, our contract with Aramark, it's fairly new. We just finished, we're about to finish the 10th month of the first year of the contract. So with this extension, if the board is inclined to approve it, we have, as stated before, had 2 meetings with Aramark, with the community, with the staff, and I do believe we will be making some constructive changes to the program as well as the menu options that are available. As for the chef days, as Jackie stated as well, Aramark has committed to us. However, I do believe we are the ones who, in a sense, will drive that initiative. So I will make sure that we contract with Aramark to bring back that, I'll call it the chef days. I'm not so sure if there's a different name that Aramark uses, but I think everybody gets the concept where there's a guest or traveling chef on behalf of the food service company that comes and visits each school on a regular basis. And we'll do that on a rotating basis as well. So we will make that happen.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. I do love the chef days, so I hope that really does come to fruition. Anybody else have any comments on 24? All right, I'm going to do a roll call vote. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno?
I'm a yes, and thank you to the staff for all they're doing so on demand.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Iannatelli?
I'm a yes.
Motion carries. Okay, can I call for a motion and a second to approve item number 31, facilities use request, 2024 to 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Comments?
So we have received many emails in regards to the Connecticut Youth Football, I believe it is. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. I looked into it. I spoke to several of the people up here in regards, and apparently the only recourse we have for Connecticut Youth Football would be to remove the facilities use permit. That would hurt all students. So what the reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm hoping that someone from the organization hears this plea and listens. We do our best over the years to approve, or at least since I've been on the board, I have personally witnessed us try to approve and fast track so many of these organizations to help our students. So many that we try to give the field use for free, as long as they have the permits and everything they need, the insurance, the 501c3, the received roster. We do our best to support these organizations. With that, we hope that you guys are doing what's best for children. Again, we got a bunch of very unhappy community members. Some of their gripes are extremely valid. We don't want to see children get hurt. We hope they're playing. Again, this isn't in our wheelhouse, other than the permit for field use. If you do have an issue with any of these organizations that we're approving tonight, your best bet would be to look into talking to their board. So if there's a board on that organization, you speak to them. If it doesn't work out, something like this, I believe, is the Locust Fields, and those are leased to the town of Islip. So you would have to go to the town of Islip board and speak to them, just so you know where your recourse is, what you can do. Again, I hope if anybody's listening, they understand that when we give this field use, I'm going to be reluctantly saying yes to all of these field uses just because of this one. I don't think you can pull the one, correct?
No, you can individually vote on them.
Because I don't want to see this one not make some changes. So,
I agree with you that we should not be giving facility use to an organization that is mistreating kids. But I'm a little reluctant to personally not allow it, just because I feel like the majority of the students would be hurt by not having the opportunity to play the sport or whatever, use the field, whatever the case is, whatever the field usage is.
right, I want them to be able to play.
Right.
I just am hoping.
I would just hope that when we do allow the use of our fields, that everybody are treating our children with respect.
Like I said, I want to see accountability, that if we lease fields to any of these organizations, 3 years ago, right before you guys got on the board, there was a situation at one of the fields, I believe it was the Duffield Fields, and we had the people come in to executive, and they, because we weren't approving the field use. I don't want to do that because I don't want to hurt all children that are in this organization. Again, it's a plea to them, the people who run it. I don't know them personally. I don't even know who it is. I just want them to understand that if people come to you with a situation or an issue, please take it seriously and handle it, because if they go to the town of Islip, the town of Islip does have the ability to pull your field use, or we have the ability to pull your field use. So, because they're leasing it. The town of Islip leases this field, from my understanding, from us, and then gives it to them.
So would the board like myself and Mr. Hauser to meet with the leadership of the Connect Quad Youth Football Program? It does go through town of Islip, so I'm almost thinking, Mr. Hauser, maybe it should be a joint meeting with, is that Parks and Recreation? What is the office of the town of Islip that would be most appropriate? I don't think they should be left out of this because they're the direct go-between.
Yeah, I would say that the Parks Department at the town is probably the one who oversees the maintenance of that field, and perhaps any outside organizations that use it. I know right now we're dealing with the town attorney's office with the extension of the contract. But I would say, you're right, the Parks Department is probably the one.
I would be fine with that. I would, like I said, I have no issue with approving it tonight, as long as somebody's going to follow up and speak to whoever's on that board, the head, the leadership of that board, just so they know that we're getting these emails and that parents and the community members are very upset. There's right now, I feel bad that there's nothing we can do. It's not in our wheelhouse, but other than, like I said, not approve the field use, and then you're hurting all kids that can't play. It would be better for them to maybe see these emails we're receiving without the people's names on them, of course. And see if
Maybe myself and Ms. Kemp, the district clerk, we can take, and Mr. Hauser, we could take the themes, the concerns, the themes, and Mr. Hauser, and just list them, and then Mr. Hauser, if you could reach out to both the town of Islip and the leadership of the youth program and arrange for a meeting with you and I Town of Islip and the youth program to, review the concerns that have been brought to our attention. And again, a lot of times there are two sides to this, but, we are providing the use of our facilities, and we don't want to turn a blind eye to our community, our children with these. So, Mr. Hauser, you can make that arrangement.
Yeah, it would be good if we remind them that this, at any point in time, we could pull this field use if it's not fixed, because we don't want to have emails coming to us that students are being hurt and there's nothing we can do about it. They are the ones that have to be able to fix whatever their internal issues are.
So are you good with a mass approval?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am, as long as they are aware that we can pull their field use at any time.
Okay. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Ms. Napolitano Inferno?
I'm a yes.
Ms. Di Lorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, I will now open the floor to the open public comment portion of the agenda. I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. You should have received a number card from security on your way in. If you have not, please see the security guard in the back of the room. Any person wishing to address the board shall address the board president. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters only. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. The use of foul language and threatening comments will not be tolerated, and the board will consider a recess until order is restored. In accordance with policy 1230, public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. If there are additional persons wishing to speak, the board may consider a motion to extend the time. Number 1. Number 2.
Is it on? I first want to thank the district for the BOCES recognition night that was done in-house. I feel a little bit responsible for bringing that to fruition, but it brought tears to my eyes to see it on Facebook, and I was very proud at that moment. I did want to ask, though, I'm hearing that the selection for the next school year, it was a lottery program. There are a lot of kids waitlisted, and the kids who did get into the program are under probationary periods. And I just wanted to find out, is it because of like limitations within BOCES or limitations of how many students ConnectQuad is able to send?
You could just continue with what you have in.
Yep. So the other thing that I wanted to say tonight is this district puts a lot of effort and importance on keeping students safe, keeping staff safe, keeping everybody in the district safe. And I just wanted to remind us that safety is of importance to this district. Thank you.
Thank you. And I don't know if we have an answer to the BOCES question.
I do have a comparative enrollment from this time-ish last year to this time, obviously this year. So we were at 153 students who were admitted to BOCES programs in 2023, 2024. And currently, and there's just a couple of weeks delay in terms of this information, but we're sitting at about 179 students who have been admitted to BOCES programs. The admission is, I'm sure you know, just part of a process, right? The student has to choose that they're going to actually complete their program, physically enroll in their program, and participate in it. So, but that's just the admission through the application process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Poppy.
But I just have a question.
Sure.
So, and maybe I missed the answer. Is it a BOCES limitation or is it a ConnectQuad limitation?
I'm not sure, I haven't heard about a limitation per se. We're equipped to send this number of students to BOCES should this number of students commit to the programs to which they've been admitted. So I'm not sure whether you have a little more information to
Well, you know,
share
because I
that
heard
way.
the same thing as the community member, that kids might be waitlisted and that it was a lottery. So
Yeah.
I was curious myself, because I've heard that from several people.
Is it per program, or is it like, let's say the cosmetology program only can take X number of kids, the automotive program can only take X number of kids?
Hasn't it always been like this, though? I thought it was like this, because last year I had a parent reach out to me in regards to their child not getting in, and I believed it was the same kind of thing.
I don't know if it's an every year thing. I don't believe that it was the process when my son applied, for instance. But I've heard from several people that it was a lottery this year and their children were waitlisted.
Yeah, Christina, can you please find out for us?
I sure
and let us
can.
know?
The only thing I do know in reference to that is that admissions are rolling. So if a child has a programmatic preference, but once they submit their application, maybe that particular program is filled, maybe that factors in here, but I will find out a definitive response just relative to this request for sure.
Thank you.
And is it that on the BOCES end, it's filled?
I believe BOCES is the one that puts the limitations, it's not us.
No, I don't, as I mentioned, we would be prepared to send 179 students or so to BOCES. We do have a 3-year average. We're operating according to a 3-year average of about 144 students. And we typically see anywhere between, say, 8 and 10 students choose not to attend or participate in the programs to which they applied. So we'll see what the numbers are. Our lock-in date is not until October 2024. That's when we look at our final numbers for the students who we send to BOCES programs.
Thank you. Number 3.
I actually have a little bit of an answer for that BOCES question. Part of the reason why some kids don't continue on is because of the financial aspect. If they can't afford the tools for the program, kids will drop out. We discussed this prior in the past. Like if a child signs up for, say, cosmetology, they can't afford the kit, it's $300-400. If a child signs up for, say, welding, they have to buy certain things. If a child cannot afford the tools that are required for that particular class, that's where you'll see some kids will say no thank you, because they can't afford to be in the actual class, even though the district will pay for the program at BOCES. So that is something that has come up through the years, and that's something that we should really look into addressing more, and we've discussed it prior, but it seems to have just gotten kicked down the road a lot. So I hope that helps. A couple of things. I spoke with this briefly with Marisol before. It just came up because this is how my brain works. Inside Out. Very popular. Everyone's all about it right now. Inside Out too. Just thought it would be kind of cool if we used Inside Out in the elementary schools to discuss feelings and emotions and move that into the curriculum. And then in middle school, when the kids go into 6th grade, if any of you haven't seen Inside Out too, it's very relative to middle schoolers. So it would be a great way to establish discussions about feelings and the different things that happen as you become a middle schooler in regards to your friend groups and all the emotions and different things that happen to you. It's very relative. I know it's a new movie. Everybody might not have seen it, but I think it's a great way to establish conversations in a way that's comfortable and it is age appropriate for everybody. Another thing is that I love that we're doing all these the celebrations this month. When you guys mentioned D-Day, Pride Day, a couple of different things. Just so you're aware, there are cultural celebrations for every single month. And that is something that when we talk about being inclusive and learning and we want to include people and we want to expand our world knowledge, we should be celebrating cultural celebrations every single month because that brings cultural competence and also brings a lot of world knowledge for all of us. So every month we should be striving in every school to learn about different cultures of every month. It's very easy to look up what month is what culture, and there are different things that you could do to incorporate that are just interesting facts and different things that buildings can do to celebrate, not in a so much gigantic way, but in ways that you could bring it through your buildings, which is a wonderful thing to do for everybody. Another thing was that I had the good fortune to see a graduation in the Midwest this month. And the way that they opened their graduation, they had a welcoming speech that was very brief. And then what they did was they had multiple children stand up and welcome everybody in multiple languages. They gave a little brief welcoming in multiple languages. So we do have children who are all in world language, and you mentioned that multiple children had the seal of biliteracy. Wouldn't it be great if we said, you know, we had the first student stand up, welcome to Connecticut graduation, we're so happy to see you, whatever they want to say. And then we had another student come up in each of the languages that we do teach in our district. It would just be such a nice way and to be inclusive, because not everybody speaks English as a first language in Connecticut, and that's something that would be a great way to show not only that we respect and we include everybody, but also to show the wonderful things that our children are capable of as well. The grant writer, great idea to reach out to the college students, but we used to do things, I believe, as a stipend for our teachers. I think that might be something that's much more alluring, and you might get a better a pool of candidates for that. Let's see. And, oh, thank you for trying to lower driver's ed. So appreciate that. 100 kids in, I totally could buy a driver's ed school at this point. And I do love that you're trying to fix the school lunches. I would love to see you guys tour some private schools and some other school districts that are not so close to ours to get different ideas and how they are doing it as well. And maybe we could bring some stuff here that would be helpful that we can incorporate. I know we're limited on what our lunch is due to where the program is, but there are things that could be incorporated into our schools that we are kind of missing. And I know we're required to stay within these companies, but there are different things that can hopefully be brought in that might be good for the kids as well.
Thank you, and I absolutely love the Inside Out idea.
I do too.
Number 4,
I'm here representing a group of concerned senior parents. The rumor mill on social media has brought to our attention a possible threat at graduation. So I heard that you approved a student attending graduation against the recommendations of the administration, the faculty, security, against the handbook, of a student who wasn't allowed to go to the senior walk because of...
we cannot give specifics on any.
So I just want to know if that was true, that the stipulation that the individual could be allowed if they were searched and a guard...
I'm sorry, we cannot discuss any particulars.
So can you tell me about specifically what security measures are...
I cannot give you any specific anything about any student, I'm sorry.
What about graduation? Can you tell me about security?
I cannot give you what security measures are in place for the security of our
So how can you make
team.
me and the parents of this district comfortable and safe at graduation with a violent, mentally ill student?
Ma'am, I am going to respectfully ask
Okay.
that you cannot malign any student in our district. I am respectfully asking that we not speak of any student.
I don't know.
We
This is
cannot,
a
we cannot
rumor.
give you any security
I'm asking for
measures for
clarity.
the security of our,
It's against
of our students. I'm sorry, hold on. We cannot give you any security measures for
But we're gonna
anything,
be
just
safe,
for the
right?
security of everybody in attendance there.
Security's job is to mitigate risks all around. From,
Okay, so they
from
said,
A to Z,
from what
and
I've
they will
heard-
take
Hold
care of
on,
that.
hold on.
so the rumor mills, just let it go?
I will not discuss any particulars
So
about any
we'll be
particular
safe at
child, student, or
graduation?
security measures.
Will be safe?
I
Everyone will be safe. We will all be there. We will all be there. We're going to all be there, sitting there. So if it wasn't safe, do you think we're all going to be sitting there? Well, I'll tell you what, it's a safe environment. We have the top-notch security team on Long Island.
And they recommended the student not walk, so that's my concern.
I don't know where you're getting your
hold on.
information from.
Thank you, and congratulations, Brian.
Thank you. Number 5.
Thank you.
How many numbers were there? Oh, all right. Can I please call for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Brian, thank you so much. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, and good luck, Brian, with everything.